AskReddit by Llewellyn. What is something designed for women that has obviously been designed by a man? Button-down shirts that don't account for breasts, and if you can button it all the way up you have these huge gaps and stretching between the buttons. M&S produce smart work shirts that have an extra hidden button. I've never seen anyone else do this though. When you get a needle biopsy, you have to lie on a cold Formica table with a sharp-edged hole your breast dangling through it. The first time I had to do this, women docs and nurses, all commented on the terrible design of the thing. When I has another needle biopsy a few years later, the table had been redesigned. It was now pink. Progress S. Sports bras and their removable pads. This is the only pet peeve I have. I hate that it is nearly impossible to find a sports bra bralette with fixed padding when there is no benefit to them being removable. Lazy companies that don't know, or care, what women actually want. Wasn't there some guys on Shark Tank or something like it that made gloves for women to use to change their menstrual products? They were single-use and pink or something? Wait till they hear about a crazy newfangled phenomenon called hand washing. Someone please put more belt loops on my work pants. Oh, and normal pockets, please and thank you. And please confirm that belt loops can hold an actual belt, and that work pants belt loops are strong enough to hold a belt and equipment where relevant without getting stretched out. Leggings with a seam in the crotch. Why do they do this? Recalls awful lit erotica where my genitals are referred to as a slit. Every public restroom I've been to that doesn't have a little trash receptacle in the stall. Having to walk your soiled sanitary products to the main trash in the hand washing area is adding insult to injury when periods suck enough. In addition to that, no hook for a bag. I mean, if you're not gonna give us reasonable pockets, please give us a hook to put a bag so we don't have to put it on the back of the nasty toilet or the ground. SMH. Every single gyno procedure and lack of pain meds given for it. This won't hurt a bit. Most women's shoes are shaped to be long, thin and pointy. My feet are not long, thin and pointy, they are foot shaped, and shoe shopping is ass. It's worse for those of us with extra wide feet, too. I have to get specialty shoes, hiking, golf, cycling, shoes in men's because they actually fit. And Macy's doesn't stock any women's shoes in wide in their stores, and I refuse to do online shopping for any clothes. The IUD was invented by Richard Richter in 1909 and the design was updated by Ernst Grafenberg. The fact that they insert them without proper anesthesia is just crazy. Source: I'm on my second one. For the uninitiated, they force your cervix open with a plastic needle nose wrench, and it's held open while they place the IUD, which should only take a few seconds. Sometimes they smear a local medication on there for numbing, but that's not effective. It's about 30 seconds of acute pain, 3 days of cramping, but I estimate it's worth it because it buys me 5 whole years of no periods. On balance, it's worth it for me. I just had to think about those stupid 2 men that invented pinky gloves to pick up and dispose of tampons because they once lived with women and periods are gross. So here, have pink plastic gloves so that grown-ass men don't faint. I would understand if men had to fish the tampon out, but OMG, by your 3rd period you kinda get used to it. Let alone years of that every month. Car seat belts. Mine slips up all the time, and I have it on the lowest setting. I am 5 feet 4 inches tall. So uncomfortable. They didn't even use smaller, female size crash test dummies in cars until fairly recently. Women are like 74% more likely to be injured in frontal road collisions because vehicles are designed with the average male body in mind. Most pharmaceuticals, unfortunately. Medical research only included men because women's hormones could skew the results. Even the lab mice were males. Women were just prescribed a smaller dose as a result. There's a book about that. Invisible Women by Caroline Criado Perez. Brilliant book. But it will make you angry. Razors. I just buy the regular man version if I wanna use a razor. Never understood that pink tax thing. If the other one is cheaper, just buy the blue one. They're all made to cut hair. Toilet cubicles, never enough room for sanitary bins. Gaps between the wall and the door and the floor. No flat surface to set things down on. Often no hooks on the doors for bags, etc. Toilet paper dispenser of doom that rattles and will only give you half an inch of paper before ripping and you have to start over. Doors that open inward. I can keep going. All vaginal procedures. Barbaric. They can trace their origin to madmen experimenting on enslaved women and girls as young as 13 without anesthetics. Barbaric is barely scratching the surface. Okay, this is niche, but I hate it whenever I go to sit at a bar and there are no hooks under the bar. Double points if the stills don't have a back where I can loop my purse coat over the seat back, and I am stuck piling my purse and or coat in my lap. Same for public restrooms, please Siri put a hook on the door so I'm not precariously balancing my purse on my lap or worse on the floor. The worst is the non-smooth surfaces of the bars. How many pantyhose are ripped because people don't bother to sand bottoms of the bar where your knee can touch, or even chairs at an office. Eater. Typo. The chainsaw. I wish I never knew this fact. As someone who had to have an emergency C-section, oh my god. Seatbelts. Specifically ones with shoulder straps. They are designed to fit an average man and tested on crash test dummies that model average male proportions, body weight and organ placement. https://www.washingtonpost.com/opinions/female-crash-test-dummies-NHTSA/ There weren't female proportioned crash test dummies until 2022. https://www.bbc.co.uk/news/technology-628777930. Hiking backpacks with a breast strap. Lol, I love backpacking but explicitly avoid taking any photos with my pack on because when wearing it properly my boobs basically get squished into my belly and it looks like I'm halfway through a Play-Doh extruder. I had a baby and we used bottles to administer formula. The numbers and dose indicator lines were in white. The worst of that type for me were the Dr. Browns with the opaque plastic, uncolored indicators. I used to hold my thumb at the line I was filling to and poured until it hit that mark. Bunch of rye diets. Lab coats. Totally random, but mine makes me look awful. Like a Teletubby. Also, the sleeves are too long in the size that fits me. Have to roll them up. The buttons pop open on the chest and hip every day. My boyfriend, meanwhile, looks like a pinup. We finally have custom RX safety glasses. Where are the custom lab coats? Chick cars that still don't have anywhere to put your handbag if you have a passenger. I could rant forever about terrible car design. Nearly everyone is traveling with some type of bag, including men, a laptop bag, backpack for work, gym bag, etc. Also everyone eats and drinks in their cars. Why is there no collapsible tray or adequate drink holders? The center console should be a case study in wasted space. 99% of women's clothing? No pockets. Waist short enough for an Oompa Loompa that just gets wider and ever longer. Underwear that scrunch up your ass regardless of its modest size. Pants that create muffin tops. Pants that you can't bend your legs in because calf muscles apparently aren't fashionable. coochie splitting jumpers where the waist is never long enough, cold shirts with sleeves that track in everything, fragile shitty lacy shirts to be seen in freezing, jackets with no pockets, jeans and pants with no pockets, shoes you can't run in.